Hi there. Today we're going to be making a pretty popular Indian dish, which is Aloo Mattar Paneer. It's basically just potatoes, peas, and paneer, which is curdled milk and which has been compressed. So those are the three main ingredients. Right now I'm making about 10 servings of this. Here you have 4 russet potatoes, paneer, which I'm going to be using. This is about a 14-ounce cube of paneer. I'm going to be cutting it in half and using about 7 ounces. Here we have about 2 cups of peas, frozen peas. And those are the 3 main ingredients. To make the curry sauce, what you need is 2 yellow onions. And then here on the side we have just a little bit of ginger cut up into little pieces. What I like to use is just about an inch of ginger, not very much. Here we have garlic, which I use about half of the garlic stem, and 3 tomatoes, and serrano chili peppers. Now that's really an acquired taste. I usually use about 8 in my sabjis, which is pretty spicy. So if you prefer less spicy food, just put as few as possible of these, but at least 2 to add at least a little bit of flavor. And the spices that we're going to be using is basic salt here on the side. The yellow here is turmeric, which adds a little bit of flavor and also a lot of yellow color, which makes the dish really beautiful and stand out. And here is basically just Garam Masala, and you can find this at any Indian store. It's usually ground spices like cumin and fennel seeds and black pepper. It's a mixture of all those spices ground up together, which is very, very popular, and it's hygienic. It's very good for you. Alright, those are pretty much the ingredients that we're going to be using. And of course just water there. I also like to use just the tomato paste, which adds a little bit of thickness to the sauce, and just some cilantro, about 1/4 of a bunch, or little if you prefer. And we're just going to cut this up into smaller pieces and put that on at the end or during the curry phase. Alright, this is the 7 ounces of the paneer cube that we had seen earlier, and we're just going to cut this up. An easier way to do this is cut it into thinner slices on the side like this, and then cut these lengthways. Now you can cut these however small you like, however large you like. I like to have them a little bit on the smaller size because when you're going to be frying them, they do tend to plump up a little bit. So that's about what we want to do with the paneer. Alright, we're going to go ahead and just start frying these out now. When you're frying these, they do sometimes tend to stick together, and the easy way I found just to put all of them in at once and fry them as fast as you can. Get them nice and brown, and we'll just go ahead and take them out. These are very, very fast to fry, and you just have to be careful not to burn these. So what you want to look for is that perfect light brown color, like this one here, all the way around. But don't go too dark, otherwise they'll have that burnt type taste. That's what the paneer should look like, a little bit on the brown side. Now you don't have to fry them, but I think that it tastes a little bit better when it is fried. And what we're gonna do is just leave this off to the side, let it soak out some of the oil and cool down while we make the curry. To start off with the curry, we're just going to put a little bit, 2 tablespoons of oil in the pan, let it get really warm and hot. And I'm gonna put in my garlic, my ginger there, and let these get just a little bit brown. Just saute them until they're brown. Alright, now that's about as brown as I like to go, and we can just go ahead and add our onions now to the mixture. And now we're going to saute these until they are also brown and almost transparent. I like to go for the white onions or yellow onions. They seem to be just a little more potent than the red. Okay, at that point I just, once they're a little bit on the brown side, I added my serrano chili peppers and a little bit of water to the mixture, just about 2 or 3 tablespoons, just enough so that it wets the bottom of the pan and doesn't stick to it. And when it gets sufficiently brown, we're going to add some the tomatoes in the mixture. You can also, if you prefer, add tomato puree, which will actually just make the sauce just a little bit thicker, if you prefer that rather than a thinner sauce. Alright, these are nice and brown like I like to keep it. And now we're going to put in the tomatoes. Just about 2 or 3 tomatoes should do it. Now here I just added about 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, just to make the sauce just a little bit thicker. Alright, so this is what your curry should actually look like. Closer to the end, you might want to taste it and see if you you taste a little bit of sweetness from the tomatoes. If you do and you prefer it without, just saute it for about 5 more minutes. At this point, I'm also going to put in some of my cut up cilantro, just about half of it. And just go ahead and mix it all in. Mix it all in. And once you're satisfied with the taste of the curry, we're going to put just the salt and garam masala and turmeric to the mixture. I usually use about a teaspoon or so of turmeric. Not too much. It doesn't add too much flavor to it, but it just gives you that nice yellow type color to your curry. Okay. That's just about the turmeric. And then we're also going to add about a teaspoon or so of the garam masala and your salt, about a tablespoon of the salt. And we're just going to mix this in. Now, how much garam masala you want to put in the curry is really dependent on your taste. If you want it to be a little bit lighter, to put about maybe a teaspoon or so. If you want it to have just a lot more kick in terms of flavor, You could put about a tablespoon. I wouldn't recommend putting more than 2 tablespoons because the flavor is very, very strong. So, all right, that's about our base. So that's completed. Take a little taste to make sure we have enough salt in it. All right, that's perfect. And now we're gonna put the paneer that we had fried earlier. We're gonna introduce our peas to the mixture, and also the cut up potatoes. Okay, let's start off with our potatoes and mix those in really well. And you can kind of see the turmeric taking effect there. You can see a lot of the potatoes are turning almost that yellowish color. And let's put in our peas. I'm using about 2 cups of peas. Mix these in really well. Okay. And lastly, we're going to put in our paneer. Just mix it up and just wait for about 2 minutes or so. Let it just soak in some of the juices and kind of become one. Alright, so I've let this settle for a couple of minutes. Now at this point, I'd recommend that you taste it and just see how much salt is in it, and salt acquired to taste. Just be careful about how much you're putting, because you are going to be diluting it in some water for right now, and how much salt you put in there is going to be slightly diluted by how much water you're going to put in there. So I would recommend just putting a little bit of more salt than you prefer, because the water is going to dilute it. And then about 4 cups of water we're going to just add to the mixture. Just mix it all around. And we're pretty much done here. Alright, and just make sure to check up on it every 5 minutes or so, and just move it around and see what it looks like. And if you want to, if you feel like it's a little bit too thick in terms of how much material is in there, you can always put a little bit more water and salt according to taste. Alright. Alright, here's the pretty much completed mixture. I did end up putting about 2 more cups of water in there because some of the water had evaporated, and I wanted to just some almost soup-like texture to it. So we're just gonna go ahead and put it into our bowl here. There you go. And there's your completed dish.